Welcome, Walnut. I'm Lara, but you can call me Laz, your host for Walnut Wednesday. This is your reminder to be brave, be yourself, and know that you can make the world a better place just by what you decide today. Here, I'm going to share my weekly walnuttings with you on a Wednesday. Hello Walnut, it is me, Laz, here for another episode of Walnut Wednesday. This episode is an impromptu live for Inside the Walnut Tree, my group on Facebook. So if you are here, as mentioned, hashtag Walnut Wednesday if you're on the replay, and if you're listening to the podcast, hello, welcome, I'm Laz, your host. I am wanting to share a walnutting from this week. I walnutted twice. Can you hear my voice is going all shaky? I attended a leadership course this week and I walnutted twice, and I really wanted to share those two situations with you. My walnutting was literally only a couple of hours ago and I've had 3 coffees today, so I'm literally still riding the high of the walnutting. Go me! But the first little walnutting, it was a little bit of a build-up. So this was a 4-day course, and if you've been here for my whole walnut journey, you will know that group situations, particularly when there's a lot of peacocks in the room, they really intimidate me. I really despise them. I don't speak very much. I hide behind my voice quite a lot. Not even hide behind my voice, I just hide quite a lot. So let me know if you're resonating with the group situation thing. It's I know it is not uncommon. But yeah, group situations have always been a problem, not a problem child of mine, but a big room for opportunity for me to express myself. And Walnut, you're probably thinking like, what the hell, Laz? You're literally doing live videos and talking on a podcast. But while that is true, and while there is sometimes an even bigger audience than the group situations, I think that just interperson, something about it, and it might be a limiting belief from when I was younger or whatever the hell it is, but it's a different kind of walnutting and courage that I need to find to speak in front of a group in person. Yeah, so I'm on this course. It's a 4-day course, and the presenter raises a really interesting discussion about the organization that I work for, and how just started a discussion on gender and gender equality, because it is a very masculine driven organization. And so that prefaces what happened. Then the next day, and the feedback was that a lot of people really enjoyed that discussion, particularly a couple of women in the group were like, wow, holy hell, I didn't even notice that. As you know, Walnut, me with my secret walnut hat that I don't tell anyone about, not out of fear, but in my secret walnut hat, I'm like, patriarchy, women stuff, it's a thing. And so then the next day we watched a video, and on this video there was it was like supposed to be candid responses about what people think about leadership. So they were walking around a particular area of the organization and recorded what people thought about a good leader was, or something like that, irrelevant to the walnutting. What was relevant to the walnutting, though, was something I noticed straight away, was every single person that was played on the video was uniformed for the organization, male, over, I want to say at least over 40 to 45. And there was one white, non-uniformed woman out of all the rest of the speakers. And to me, after that discussion about women in the organization, to see that, I was like, whoa. And I don't think anyone else really noticed it, but I felt called to share my feedback, which is walnutting number 1. And I kind of just said, hey, I want to, because I said one of my favorite topics of the day was when you asked about women and stuff like that. So I gave that feedback and said, like, I really enjoyed that discussion, but then from that discussion, what was really prominent to me in that video, I couldn't really think about anything else, was just the fact that there was only one white, not diverse, woman who wasn't wearing a uniform. Everyone else was from one like basket. And the presenter sort of said, thank you for your feedback, la la la. I didn't really get the response that I was after. All I wanted was like, oh cool. I ended up getting like a little bit of homework and asked to email him some feedback and all this kind of stuff, which I have thoughts on that, and we can talk about that another time. But I walnutted. I gave feedback. Like normally I'm in a situation, and let me know if you are too, Walnut, where it's just like, who cares? Like it doesn't matter enough, you know, but I feel proud that it mattered enough to me to actually be brave enough to say something. Because also to me, it was just so obvious. So it's like, you can't preach a discussion about, oh, you know, this in here, but then kind of like contradict it. And, you know, they're working on it. Everything's being refreshed and la. So it's all a bit different. My second walnutting though, walnut, was today, which is day 4, the last day. So we've been going off in groups and doing little activities and presenting to the group. And naturally, me being me, on day 1, when we did introduce ourselves in front of everyone, I used my, I'm going to call myself out here, but I used my little cop out going, I don't speak well in front of groups. My voice kind of shakes. I'm just going to do this really fast. I feel like sometimes in some situations I use the, I don't do well in front of, hi, my name's Liz, I don't do well in front of groups, as a kind of like a, here's this just in case I suck, form of, almost a form of validation. I don't know, let me know if that's kind of making sense with you. But I used that on day 1. And so throughout the process, I was kind of, you know, there are people that, the peacocks in group situations, that like to do the talking, like to take over the situations. We're in a leadership course too, so, you know, they're all, you know, aspiring leaders in some way. So I ended up being and purposefully putting myself in the place of the person that stands in front of the group but just holds the thing, or just reads out the shortest amount of stuff, because I don't want to, because I don't like talking in front of groups, because it makes me feel weird, because my voice goes all funny, my palms go all sweaty. Even though I've written actual notes, I can't even read the things on the paper. Like, I'm wearing this lovely dress and it probably smells because I'm just so sweaty from having to stand in front of the group, right? So that's where I'm at with the group speaking situation. Anyways, today we get this activity. So we've been doing this all throughout. We get this activity that's like, okay, you're going to go off in your groups, blah, 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 you're going to present it back. And then he says, if there's anyone that would like to present or do this activity on their own, raise your hand. And I thought, well, you know, I am getting a little bit annoyed at, you know, the people taking over the voice thing and everyone talking over each other. I'm an introvert, so I'm like, oh, there's opinions, and open emotional center, I'm like, oh, all these feelings and there's frustrations and there's things, and everyone's talking, and it's really hard to get some structure and to get a plan done to present. But with this fear of, I don't want to stand up there by myself. And so I didn't. I stayed in my group for that scenario. And then I thought, you know what, I probably should. And so I went to grab coffee with somebody on the break, and I kind of expressed this, and they were like, you just should. And I was like, and I thought, this is a really great opportunity, not only to challenge myself, but to really walnut, in a sense that, like I said, I do this talking all the time. I do this live video stuff all the time. I've practiced my voice a lot, but you love getting feedback. You want to try the activity on your own without other people's like voices and brains and things in your head. The only thing that is making you not want to do it is your fear of standing in front of people, looking like a butthole, all the things. So I kind of like was just like, I'm going to walnut and I'm going to do this. So the next time he said, is there anyone who wants to do this on their own? I raised my little hand. I raised my little walnutty hand, and people were like, oh, you know, it was like this moment of like, oh, the girl who doesn't like presenting is doing it. And I was like, wow, yeah, bitch, you do what you need to do. And so I went up there, I did the work on my own. I felt a bit awkward. I felt a little bit like an imposter, to be honest, because I got lots of praise afterwards. And while it's nice to get praise and I received it with grace and all the things, you know, I think, and this will be the third time I said it, I do Walnut with you on a regular basis. So it was almost like I'm wearing my little Shark Tank hat, my little hat that's not the Walnut Wednesday hat, where people don't actually know me as this like leader. I'm on the leadership course, you know, people don't know me as like a Walnut leader, a healer, and all of the amazing stuff that I do, where I do have to be brave and I've worked hard on this journey to get to. They don't know that. So they're going, ah, when yes, it is a moment, but also I felt like maybe, yeah, bully demon was there a little bit, calling me a bit of an imposter and a bit of a liar while I was receiving praise for doing such a good job for talking in front of everyone. My voice still went funny, my palms still went sweaty. I was sweaty, the hands were shaking, you know, I had all of those symptoms, you know, just to justify for myself. But yeah, interesting that that feeling came up, which I feel like I want to share with you. Let me know what you think of the experience, and if you feel the same way about some things and things as well. So that was my other walnutting, and I actually ended up at the end of the day today giving the feedback that for me, one of the issues definitely was that I wanted to do the activity on my own, like as in the work and the planning on my own, so I could get the feedback on my own for myself rather than like a group input. It was just the presenting that stopped me from doing that initially. So for them, the trainers, to take that on board, because there might be a little peanut in there who, you know, in a group situation, you don't do that. You don't have, you know, one-on-one coaching sessions or whatever in front of a group presented, you know. So I hope that extra bit of feedback really helped. But Walnut, I just wanted to come on live video today and share with you that I've walnutted twice this week. I walnutted twice in a group situation. Just to remind you that a walnutting is just around the corner at all times. It only takes a quick few seconds of little bits of courage to decide to be brave, which is a walnut. A walnut is a person who decides to be brave. And I hold myself to a higher standard because of what I did. And yes, I am bully demoning, and I feel like that's a lot to do with what I've got going on in like my woo-woo life as well. There's a lot of bully demon and imposter syndrome coming up and making me feel all these things. So about my walnutting, I already have that like backlash of like, who do you think you are saying that that's a walnutting, because you actually do speak and practice your voice all the time. But I'm taking it as a win. I'm taking it as such a big win. So I would love to know, Walnut, first of all, if you resonate with the group situations, and if you've had an example of something similar to this, please let me know, and feel free to share your celebrations inside the Walnut Tree on Facebook. Feel free to message me and share your wins, because I know how hard group situations are, and I know how intimidating it is for a little turtle dove like you or me. If you are a dove. If you're a peacock, I adore you and I'm obsessed with you, and I envy that what is the word, or that big energy that you can hold a room like that. There were a couple of peacocks in the group that I was in, and I was just like, I'm obsessed with you. I love how you just like your little peacock wings and flourish. Whereas you know, in my peanut life, that was something that really intimidated me and bothered me a lot. But at least I can appreciate peacocks now, despite still feeling rather intimidated and not wanting to speak. But of course, yeah, let me know if you resonate, and there is always going to be an opportunity to walnut and to be brave. So I would love to hear about yours, and if you've had any, and if you resonate with this episode, please share and tag me. or any comments inside the walnut tree and all the things. But thank you for being here. Thank you for your time and thank you for listening. And I will talk to you next week on the podcast Walnut Wednesday. Bye.